All right, Yankees fans, let's dive deep into the latest chatter and rumors swirling around the Bronx Bombers this offseason. If what has been circulating about Cody Bellinger is even remotely true, we are in for some serious questions about the front office and particularly about Brian Cashman's decision-making. The discussion started with Hot Stove mentioning that the Yankees could be priced out of re-signing Bellinger because of the deal they gave to Trent Grisham. If that is actually accurate, it is not just a minor oversight. It would be a massive misstep. Let's break this down. Trent Grisham received a one-year qualifying offer of $22 million. And while that may seem like a calculated move, it potentially blocks the path to bring back one of last year's most impactful players. Add to that the third baseman acquired at the trade deadline last season, who, offensively speaking, did not exactly light up the stat sheet. And suddenly we have a scenario where $38 million is tied up in two players who may prevent the team from retaining its second-best performer from the prior season. If this narrative about being priced out is true, it is hard to see how Cashman could escape scrutiny. But personally, I find it difficult to believe that the Yankees would simply let this situation unfold without exploring every possible option. Looking at the bigger picture, the team is far from passive in this offseason. The league around them is getting stronger, Toronto especially, and they're moving aggressively to add top talent. Kyle Tucker, for instance, is a player who the Yankees could certainly target, and while some may favor Bellinger for nostalgia or his past contributions, Tucker represents arguably a more consistent elite-level bat, someone who could make an immediate difference in the lineup. Of course, Bellinger has shown flashes of brilliance, and when he's on, he can dominate. Still, his inconsistency has been a concern, which is why some believe that if the team is truly priced out, it may be a blessing in disguise. Yet, there's no denying the Yankees' interest and past pursuit of him, and it's this juxtaposition that makes the off-season chatter so intriguing. The reports linking Bellinger to the Yankees are conflicting, and fans are left to question whether financial constraints or previous contracts, like the Grisham deal, are genuinely holding the team back from making a move that would solidify their lineup. Beyond the outfield debates, the Yankees' rotation remains a stronghold. Even with the usual injuries and eventual returns of stars like Garrett Cole and Lucas Giolito, the team believes it has enough depth to feel comfortable without a major addition at starting pitcher. Brian Cashman has mentioned on multiple occasions that the rotation is solid, and this aligns with what we've seen in the offseason. Plenty of arms returning and minimal need to overspend on external pitching talent. The bullpen, while also well-stocked, may see some minor reinforcements. These aren't headline-grabbing signings, but thoughtful additions that aim to bolster depth rather than transform the unit overnight. Fans can expect tweaks rather than a full-scale overhaul, signaling that the focus remains on key acquisitions like Bellinger, Tucker, or other high-impact position players. It is fascinating to compare this offseason strategy to last year. Losing Juan Soto was a huge blow, and the team reacted decisively by signing Max Fried and making several significant trades, including acquiring Cody Bellinger, Devin Williams, and Paul Goldschmidt. Those moves reshaped the roster, proving that the Yankees are capable of acting quickly when a prime opportunity arises. Fast-moving negotiations, strategic trades, and calculated risks defined their previous offseason. Now, the question looms. Can the Yankees replicate that aggressive approach this year, or are they allowing smaller signings like Grisham to dictate what they can or cannot do in major free agent pursuits? It's hard to imagine that a team with such a deep farm system, established stars, and financial flexibility would simply stand pat, especially when potential game-changing talent like Bellinger or Tucker is available. The contrasting reports about the team being priced out of Bellinger create a lot of confusion. On one hand, you hear that financial obligations to players like Grisham may block the deal. On the other, you have statements and insider commentary suggesting that nothing is set in stone and that the Yankees remain very much in pursuit. It is a classic case of off-season uncertainty, amplified by media speculation and the natural drama that surrounds the Bronx Bombers. For fans, this tension is both exciting and nerve-wracking. Watching a team balance contracts, potential trades, and strategic additions is part of the thrill of following baseball in December. Every signing, every rumor, and every meeting could shift the balance of power, not just in New York, but across the league, as the competition in the American League continues to rise. Then there's the larger philosophical debate about player value versus team needs. Bellinger's power and potential production are undeniable, but inconsistency and the risk of underperformance are legitimate concerns. Kyle Tucker represents stability and elite performance, which makes him an appealing option. Meanwhile, the internal options, including Dominguez and Jones, offer cost-effective alternatives but lack the proven track record of impact players. It is a delicate balancing act between budgeting, risk management, and pursuing the highest ceiling possible. The decisions the Yankees make now will reverberate through the season, affecting not only the lineup but also playoff prospects and the team's ability to adapt to injuries or unexpected slumps. Every dollar spent, every roster spot used, and every strategic choice carries weight, and fans are watching closely to see how management navigates this high-stakes environment. At the end of the day, the real question is about commitment and vision. If the Yankees truly allow financial or contractual technicalities to prevent them from re-signing one of their most impactful players, it would raise serious questions about their priorities and leadership. Yet, given the franchise's history of proactive maneuvers, it's hard to believe they would let a situation like this unfold without exploring every possible solution. The balance between retaining top talent, managing payroll, and preparing for the challenges of a long season is never easy, and the Yankees are faced with this exact conundrum. Fans are left speculating, debating, and hoping for clarity, while the front office works quietly behind the scenes to chart the best path forward. This offseason is shaping up to be one of intrigue, strategy, and calculated risks for the New York Yankees. Every report, every rumor, and every update carries the weight of expectation, and it's clear that the team has options to consider but must navigate them wisely. Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, Trent Grisham, and internal prospects all play roles in a complex puzzle that will define the team's identity for the upcoming season. The choices made now are not just about filling positions. They are about shaping a championship-contending roster in one of the most competitive divisions in baseball. All right, let's continue diving into the Yankees' offseason saga and all the moving pieces that have fans buzzing. The story around Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, and the team's roster moves is just one layer of a much bigger narrative. Beyond these headline names, the Yankees' approach this offseason seems to be a careful balancing act between maintaining financial flexibility and building a team that can compete at the highest level. The rotation is deep, with stars like Garrett Cole and Lucas Giolito expected to return fully healthy. That depth gives the Yankees some breathing room when it comes to starting pitching, which is why major signings at the top of the rotation aren't a priority. But the bullpen, while solid, is always a concern, and even minor tweaks can make a significant difference over a long season. The team is likely to add a couple of arms to strengthen that unit, but nothing that drastically changes the landscape. Fans can expect reinforcements, but the big headline moves will likely come in the position player market, particularly if the team can navigate contracts and roster constraints to bring back someone like Bellinger or land a player of Kyle Tucker's caliber. It's fascinating to see how the Yankees manage these decisions compared to other teams in the league. Toronto, for instance, is not hesitating. They're actively meeting with top-tier free agents and securing deals quickly. Players like Kyle Tucker and Edwin Diaz have already been linked to them, signaling a willingness to act decisively. In contrast, the Yankee strategy may appear more cautious, but history has shown that when the team wants a player, they have the resources and creativity to make it happen. Last offseason, losing Juan Soto could have been a devastating blow, yet the team responded swiftly by signing Max Fried and making several trades that strengthened the roster significantly. Acquiring Cody Bellinger, Devin Williams, and Paul Goldschmidt were moves that underscored the franchise's ability to pivot quickly and effectively. That kind of decisiveness is part of the Yankees' DNA, and fans expect nothing less as they enter another critical offseason. The debate about Cody Bellinger versus Kyle Tucker highlights an interesting tension in baseball management. Bellinger has shown immense potential and delivered standout moments, but his inconsistency has left some front office personnel and analysts cautious. Tucker, on the other hand, represents a stable, elite-level bat that could be a cornerstone for years. The Yankees are in a position to weigh both options, along with the potential of internal talent like Dominguez and Jones. These internal players provide cost-effective alternatives, but lack the proven track record of impact players in high-stakes situations. Choosing between retaining a familiar face like Bellinger, investing in a rising star like Tucker, or giving internal prospects an opportunity is a classic example of strategic decision-making in professional baseball. It's a delicate balance of risk, reward, and long-term planning. While the Bellinger narrative has dominated headlines, the underlying theme of this offseason is roster optimization. The Yankees have financial flexibility, strong prospects, and a core group of stars returning. Every move must be considered carefully, not just for immediate impact, but for sustained competitiveness over the season. Signing Bellinger or Tucker would address offensive consistency and power in the lineup, but how the team integrates these players with current roster members is equally important. The Yankees' decision-making will reflect a combination of statistical analysis, scouting insight, and long-term planning, ensuring that every acquisition supports a larger vision of championship contention. The front office must balance spending, potential trade-offs, and player development while keeping an eye on the evolving competitive landscape. Another layer to consider is the narrative around the team being priced out of Bellinger because of Grisham's contract. While some reports suggest that the financial commitment to Grisham prevents a Bellinger deal, others indicate that nothing is finalized and that the Yankees remain actively pursuing him. This kind of conflicting information is part of the off-season drama, leaving fans and analysts to speculate while insiders work behind closed doors to secure deals. The uncertainty can be frustrating, but it also reflects the complex nature of roster management in a high-stakes environment. The Yankees are operating in a competitive market where timing, player preferences, and contract negotiations intersect, making every decision critical. The front office's strategy also involves evaluating the depth chart and understanding positional needs. The outfield, in particular, has been a focal point. With vacancies created by players departing or being unavailable, the Yankees must consider options that provide both offensive firepower and defensive reliability. Internal options like Dominguez and Jones may get opportunities, but the team's pursuit of players like Bellinger or Tucker underscores a commitment to maximizing talent at key positions. Each decision is measured against the backdrop of divisional competition, with teams like Toronto actively strengthening their rosters. The Yankees cannot afford to rely solely on internal depth. High-impact acquisitions are necessary to maintain a competitive edge. Financial considerations also play a role. The team must manage payroll to accommodate new signings while maintaining flexibility for mid-season moves. The Grisham deal, though potentially controversial, reflects a calculated approach to talent retention and risk management. Similarly, any acquisition of Bellinger or Tucker would require careful financial planning, ensuring that the team can remain competitive without overcommitting resources. These decisions illustrate the complexity of managing a modern baseball roster, where talent evaluation, contract negotiations, and long-term planning intersect. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are swirling through the baseball world, and the latest buzz might just shake up the American League. The New York Yankees, long known for flexing their financial muscle and chasing top-tier talent, are reportedly closing in on a deal to bring Zac Gallen into their rotation. If the chatter proves true, it would be a move that signals not just ambition, but an almost ruthless desire to dominate on the mound. Gallen has steadily built a reputation as one of the most reliable and dynamic arms in the league, mixing pinpoint control with an arsenal of pitches that can fluster even the most disciplined hitters. For years, scouts and analysts have highlighted his potential to be a frontline starter, the kind of pitcher who can set the tone for an entire series. Now, rumors suggest the Yankees are positioning him exactly where he could have the biggest impact, at the top of their rotation. Insiders suggest the negotiations have been intense, with multiple suitors reportedly showing interest. But the Yankees, ever strategic in their approach, seem determined to outmaneuver the competition. Sources close to the team hint that the organization sees Gallen not just as another arm, but as a cornerstone for years to come, a pitcher capable of leading a rotation filled with both seasoned veterans and rising stars. Fans are already buzzing with speculation about how Gallen would mesh with the Yankees' offensive firepower and star-studded lineup. Questions abound. Will he dominate right away? Can he handle the pressure cooker of New York expectations? And perhaps most importantly, could this move finally fill the perennial pitching gap that has haunted the team in crucial moments? While nothing is officially confirmed, the mere hint of Gallen heading to the Bronx has ignited a frenzy among pundits and fan forums alike. Social media is ablaze with debates over what this could mean for the balance of power in the league, and every insider tidbit is being dissected for clues. One thing is clear. If the Yankees land Gallen, it won't just be another signing. It will be a statement, a signal that the team is playing for supremacy and that they aren't afraid to spend big to get there. The rumor mill is alive, the speculation rampant, and baseball fans everywhere are watching closely. Zac Gallen to the Yankees might still be just a whisper, but in a city that thrives on headlines and hype, even a whisper can feel like a roar. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.